So let's talk about why staying fit will make you a better motorcycle rider. Serious stuff. Today we're going to cover why riding a motorcycle optimally is very important. I'm also going to tell you why you struggle with your fitness, why it's so hard to do, why you can't get motivated. What's stopping you? You see, fitness is linked to longevity and a better quality of life, and interestingly enough, it's going to make you a better motorcycle rider. That's what we're going to get into today. Now, the big question is why? Why do you need fitness for optimal motorcycle riding? Now, if you ride a motorcycle, you'll know that the harder you ride, the more you'll see this effect, and the longer you ride, you're also going to see this effect. Lots of corners, like say riding through the hills, or the traffic of suburbia or the city, it all requires fitness to do optimally. Now, something like sciatica is a great example of something that's fitness related and stops people riding. That's where you've got a shooting pain down one side of your body, usually starts in your lower back and often goes all the way down into your lower leg or calf. It's extremely painful. It makes riding almost impossible, makes driving almost impossible. Anyone who's had it will know that you can't really sit still and it hurts continually and you're always moving about trying to get relief. Unless you've broken something like snapped your body in half, sciatica is usually the result of weak lower back muscles or lack of flexibility, or both. I've had it myself a few times. It's really painful, but I can't count the number of people over the last 40 years that I've seen with this condition. Instead of fixing it via fitness, they've resorted to medications, sometimes heavy medications, or they've gone under a surgeon's knife. It's sad to see when the fix can be very simple and is fitness related. Now, fitness plays a huge factor in riding optimally as opposed to just riding around, because anyone can roll around on a motorcycle and do it poorly. There's a huge reason you want to ride a motorcycle optimally, and I'll get into that shortly. So let's first cover what fitness actually is. It comprises of 5 components. The first component is cardiovascular fitness. That's the ability of your heart and lungs to supply oxygen to your body when you're doing something. Now, you don't have to run to get cardiovascular fitness. Faster, Dave! Faster! Faster! We've only got about 500 k's to go. You can just briskly walk. That'll do the trick. The second thing is muscular strength. That's how much weight you can lift just once. And then we've got muscular endurance. Can you lift that weight multiple times? Can you repeat the task, and for how long? Stuff that, this is easier. Number 4 is flexibility. That's something a lot of people neglect when it comes to fitness, and that is the ability of your muscles to be unrestricted through their full range of motion. I think you can at least touch your toes. Number 5 is body composition. That's probably where people have the most problem, and that's really what percentage of your body weight is fat. The more fat you're carrying, obviously that is a negative in terms of fitness. People don't fully understand it's 80% about food and only 20% exercise. Now, what's even better on a motorcycle than fitness is safety, because motorcycle riding can be dangerous. Now, Resurgence Gear motorcycle clothes add dramatically to your safety.
Holy crap! Only the jean. The PCAP's still there, look.
Straight through the jean, but not through the PCAP at all. Nothing. It's not even like broken or...
Now that was pretty cool. And don't forget, you get a 10% discount when you're buying if you use the code Old Not Dead. Speaking of Old Not Dead, don't forget our awesome supporter gear at the website oldnotdead.club. Now, our t-shirts aren't as safe as Resurgence Gear, but you're going to be a much better rider if you put one of our t-shirts under your Resurgence Gear jacket. And of course, off the bike wearing one of our t-shirts, your charisma meter is going to be going full bore. Big claims, no refunds. Right, let's relate fitness to motorcycling. Now, if you're riding correctly, especially if you're riding hard, it can be very physical because you're using your body to do certain things on a bike. And we can see this with people's estimations of how many calories you burn while you're riding a motorcycle, which varies from 150 calories per hour all the way up to 600. And of course that variation's there because people ride in different ways. Some are more taxing than others. There are a lot of stabilizer muscles in your body that help you adjust and reorientate yourself as you're maintaining your balance and riding. You're often using your inner thigh muscles to grip the tank, and your legs against the pegs or floorboards to get purchase as you're going around corners. There's heaps of situations that require reflexes and coordination. Stop and start traffic for one. Slow manoeuvres, picking the gaps through traffic. Avoiding obstacles, riding with a friend, riding in a group. That takes some coordination. What about suddenly braking or any other emergency situation? Strength is often required to move your motorcycle. Some of them are bloody heavy. Even just lifting it off its stand, counter steering if you're going fast. It's all just the use of strength. And then there's core strength and endurance. That's what keeps you upright on your motorcycle. That's what gives you good posture. And of course, the correct seating position is what relieves the tension in your neck and shoulders. Strength and endurance in your neck and upper back, that's required for wearing a helmet. That's why light helmets are great. Flexibility helps enormously. It actually helps in all of your movements and activities, like the way you sit on your bike and the ease at which you move on the bike. Flexibility helps with getting on and off your bike, unless you're tall like I am and the bike is low. Because flexibility keeps your muscles at the appropriate lengths, it doesn't just help you with movement, it actually helps prevent injury because tight muscles and tendons are often the cause of injury. Tight muscles also get tired faster, and that brings us to endurance, which is required on longer rides and of course harder rides, both. Now, a long trip today, 800 odd kilometres. Took us, how many hours did that take? Probably, that was a
13 hours
so
by the time we
Eric
left
and
home.
I'm just close to 14.
Yeah, 14
Since we
hours.
left home.
So 14 or 13 hours for a few of us. Long day. Horrible roads because we took the back roads.
Horrible.
Some parts were fantastic. A lot of windy roads, great ocean view. But we rode pretty hard, but a lot of the time we couldn't. So that's probably what took up most of the day. A lot of roadworks, etc. So a very long day. So we've all been in pain today. And just to show that we're over it, we're going to do push-ups. We've been here how long?
15?
15 minutes.
No. 5?
5 minutes. And we're straight into the push-ups. Let's do 30. Made it! Now, the main and most important reason to be fit on a motorcycle, and this is important, you see, I think you should aim to be as fit as possible riding a motorcycle because as you get tired, your brain stops functioning efficiently. Your attention wavers, your reflexes and coordination are affected. And that spells big trouble doing something as physical or as dangerous as motorcycle riding. One simple mistake can be fatal. You can do an easy test to see how much your brain suffers when it's fatigued. People who are ex-military or similar, they're going to understand this. Just go and find a hill and run up it until you're puffed and tired, and then do some simple mathematical calculations, and you'll see how hard it actually is. It's way harder to do, it's way harder to think because your brain's been deprived of a little bit of oxygen and glucose. The fitter you are, the easier it is to do that, and it translates directly to motorcycle riding, even though it's an exaggeration. As you get tired, whatever you're doing becomes harder, and you stop doing it as well. So get fit to reduce the conditions for mistakes on your motorcycle. Now here's an interesting question. What stops you from getting fit or from staying fit? It obviously takes work, and the simple answer is people are lazy, but that's not really true. Because what we call lazy often stems from something as simple as not having enough energy to do this. But interestingly, when you exercise, it creates energy. But lack of energy can come from many things. Poor food choice, stress, lack of sleep, poor gut health. What about a lack of electrolytes? That's something that people often overlook. And it can be a vicious cycle. You've got no energy to exercise, so you don't create more energy, and you end up just sitting on the couch. But you've got to break the cycle somehow. You've got to do this. There's also the emotional component, lack of worthiness to maintain or to optimize your body. Lack of self-love. That's an interesting one because I often see people putting a lot of time, attention and care into their Harley-Davidson motorcycles. How much time do you spend cleaning and polishing versus how much time do you spend on your health and fitness? Can we conclude that you love your Harley-Davidson more than you love yourself? If so, that's sad. You can do something about it. It starts with looking internally and then taking the steps to rectify things once you realise it's happening or once you become aware of it. For your own good. So ride hard, ride safe, and for God's sake, put some effort in to get fit. Now, if you like today's video, you'll love the video up here, Why Harley Riders Die Early. Don't let that be you.
All that's left, somewhere in your chest, when your sweetheart hit a mist. Oh, oh.